Last week in London, negotiators from Washington and Beijing shook hands on what U.S. President Trump hailed as a renewed trade truce, tariffs reset, rare earth disputes settled, but new revelations suggest the headline deal masks a growing chasm between White House talking points and the facts on the ground. Today, we unpack why the U.S. claims ring hollow, why Beijing's silence speaks volumes, and what may be coming next. Under the 90-day truce agreed in Geneva and reaffirmed in London, President Trump promised a fixed 55% tariff on Chinese imports while China would set its own at 10%, a neat soundbite Trump touted on Truth Social. In return, the United States would roll back certain technology export curbs and suspend new tariffs until August 10. Chinese negotiators, led by Vice Premier He Lifeng, framed the talks as candid and aimed to build consensus, but left no public record of detailed concessions. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick suggested the deal would resolve rare earth mineral and magnet restrictions, promising a path to keep the Geneva truce on track without any quid pro quo on AI chips. Yet sources now tell Reuters that the critical military segment of rare earths remains untouched. Just days after the London press conference, Reuters reported that Beijing has not committed to exporting specialized rare earth magnets used in fighter jets and missile guidance systems, the very materials U.S. military suppliers say they urgently need. Meanwhile, Washington continues to restrict China's purchases of advanced AI processors, citing national security concerns. In other words, the White House billboard promised a highway, but negotiators handed over a map with a road closed sign at the crucial junction. The Trump administration's tweet-friendly 55% vs 10% tariff slogan now looks more like white noise amid layers of unresolved export controls and looming tariff extensions. And while the U.S. press office speaks of great deals and record-breaking leverage, industry analysts warn that without military-grade rare earth magnets, key defense supply chains remain in limbo, a fact the White House glossed over in its spin cycle. On the Chinese side, official channels have been uncharacteristically muted. State media briefly framed the talks as in-depth and reaffirmed China always keeps its word, but no statement addresses the sticking point over militarious rare earths. Is this silence tacit acquiescence or a strategic pause? Experts argue Beijing may be content to let U.S. impatience fester, knowing its near monopoly on rare earth processing gives it the upper hand. By withholding approval for military-grade shipments, China retains a potent bargaining chip for broader geopolitical concessions. Alternatively, China's negotiators may be preparing a more comprehensive counteroffer behind closed doors, waiting for Washington to blink, perhaps through extending tariffs past August 10, which U.S. officials are already signaling. This standoff over rare earths marks a shift. What began as a tariff skirmish has morphed into a full-blown contest over critical minerals and advanced technology controls, for the U.S. conceding on AI chip curbs in exchange for rare earth access would undercut its stated concern over China's military modernization. Too much bluster, too little follow-through. For China, holding this line could encourage other trading partners to view Beijing as a reliable supplier. Civilian markets still get expedited channels, while defense firms in Western countries scramble for alternative sources in Australia, India, and beyond. So what happens next? First, the U.S. may follow through on extending existing tariffs beyond August 10, signaling that patience for a full deal is wearing thin, that risks entrenching long-term decoupling. Second, China could leverage rare earth export controls as part of a broader security dialogue, perhaps linking them to progress on other fronts like semiconductor supply chains, intellectual protections, or even climate collaboration. Finally, unless both sides move beyond soundbites and engage in detailed, verifiable mechanisms with clear timelines and enforcement measures, this so-called truce risks becoming another round of empty promises. Stay tuned as the world watches whether London's handshake will hold or slip through everyone's fingers. We'll continue to track every twist in this crucial trade chess match. Subscribe for continuing coverage and expert insights on trade policy.